Steelers Nation, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel where we bring you the biggest news, the boldest takes, and the most honest conversations about our Pittsburgh Steelers. This team is working hard every single day to improve, to evolve, and to bring that Lombardi trophy back to the Burgh. And with all the noise surrounding the quarterback position, one name continues to dominate the conversation: Aaron Rodgers. But is it time to stop playing the waiting game? Before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Smash that like button if you love this team and want to see us back on top. And don't forget to subscribe for non-stop Steelers coverage all year long. All right, let's get into it. The Pittsburgh Steelers are clearly holding on to hope that future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers will put on the black and gold. Ever since the rumors started flying this offseason, fans and insiders alike have speculated that Rodgers would eventually sign before OTAs kick off. Well, OTAs start on Tuesday, and as of right now, we still don't have an answer. Now, Rodgers recently appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience, and while many were hoping for a big announcement, the 41-year-old quarterback remained quiet. He mentioned that several people close to him are battling cancer, which has understandably delayed his decision. We all have to respect that. Family and close friends always come first, but at the same time, the Steelers can't afford to sit in limbo forever. Even team owner Art Rooney, too, has made it clear. First, on April 1st, and again this past week, Rooney said the team is willing to wait a little while longer. But what does that really mean? The truth is, Pittsburgh doesn't know any more now than it did 6 weeks ago. Let's call it what it is. This situation is dangerous for the Steelers' preparation. If the front office and coaching staff keep assuming Rodgers is going to sign, it could mess with the entire structure of OTAs and minicamp. Offensive coordinator Arthur Smith won't know if he should build this playbook around Rodgers' strengths or stick with what works for Mason Rudolph and rookie Will Howard. And think about the locker room, too. How do you build chemistry with your quarterbacks if the entire team is just waiting for a legend to swoop in and take over? Steelers players, especially on offense, need to start building timing and trust now. And if they think Rudolph or Howard are just placeholders, that whole process is going to suffer. Let's not forget the biggest question of all. Is Rodgers even the right move at this point? Sure, the four-time MVP brings instant credibility. If healthy and motivated, he could absolutely elevate this team and maybe even push us into Super Bowl contention. That's likely why the front office has been so patient. Pittsburgh went 10-7 last season and snuck into the playoffs. Add Rodgers, and suddenly you've got a dangerous wild card. But let's not ignore the other side of this. Rodgers looked like a fading star with the Jets. In 17 starts, he went 5-12 with a QBR of just 48. That's not elite. That's average, at best. And there's still doubt about whether he wants to play this year. If he's unsure, if his heart isn't fully in it, then what are we even doing? You don't want to hand over the keys to a guy who might still be half out the door. Let's talk about the guys we already have. Mason Rudolph. Yes, he's been inconsistent, but he showed some real grit down the stretch last year. He's got a 9-8-1 record as a starter, and the team rallied around him late in the season. He's not flashy, but he knows this system and this locker room trusts him. Then there's Will Howard, our 6th-round pick and the reigning national champion from Ohio State. Now, I'm not saying he's ready to start week 1. He's raw. But the upside? It's there. He's athletic, he's hungry, and he's got leadership qualities that can't be taught. Neither guy is perfect, but they're here. They're available, and they're building chemistry with the team right now. At some point, you have to ask, is waiting for Rodgers holding us back from developing what we already have? Let's be honest about the signal the Steelers sent this offseason. They didn't make a big quarterback move in the draft. They didn't sign a veteran free agent like Ryan Tannehill or trade for Kirk Cousins. That tells you something. This team really believes Rodgers is coming. And if he doesn't, if he decides to stay home or play somewhere else, the Steelers are left scrambling, and fans are left wondering why we didn't have a backup plan. And let's not pretend that Rodgers' decision is a secret behind closed doors. According to reports, the Steelers know just as much as we do. No one in that building has a firm answer. That's a problem. So here's where we're at, Steelers Nation. Aaron Rodgers might still sign with Pittsburgh, and if he does, we'll welcome him with open arms. But every day that goes by without a decision creates more questions than answers. This team is trying to improve. This team is trying to build a contender. But they can't do that with one foot on the gas and one on the brake. It's time for the organization to either get a commitment from Rodgers or move forward with the guys we've got. We can't afford to keep waiting. The season. Prep starts now. The Steelers shocked a lot of fans this offseason when they traded George Pickens, the electric, highlight-making wide receiver from Georgia. He had the swagger, he had the catches, he had that big playability we all loved. But behind the scenes, there were problems. The front office and coaching staff gave him 3 full seasons to mature. But by the end of 2024, the same sideline. Outbursts, frustrations, and inconsistencies were still happening. And once the Steelers made a move for DK Metcalf earlier this offseason, the writing was on the wall. George Pickens became expendable, and the Dallas Cowboys finally pulled the trigger after weeks of interest. The Steelers shipped him out for a 2026 third-round pick and a late-round pick swap in 2027. Given everything we now know, that return looks pretty solid. Now let's get to the real bombshells. We all saw the attitude on the field, the frustration, when he wasn't getting the ball. Some fans defended him, pointing to our below-average quarterback play, and that's fair to a degree. But this week, Steelers insider Mark Kaboly dropped some damning info in his mailbag that takes the Pickens situation to a whole new level. Kaboly confirmed what had been whispered for months. Pickens wasn't just late to team meetings and flights. He straight up ignored his teammates. That's right. He reportedly refused to return phone calls and texts from guys in the locker room. That's not just immaturity, that's disrespect. According to Kaboly, this was all going down before the trade. Pickens was checked out emotionally. He wasn't being a good teammate, and if you're trying to build a strong culture and compete in the AFC North, you can't have that energy in the locker room. At the end of the day, the George Pickens trade now looks like it was bound to happen. He's entering the final year of his rookie contract. The Steelers had no plans to offer him an extension. Why would they? He was productive, yes, but unreliable, disconnected from the team, and frequently disruptive. If Pittsburgh kept him for 2025, they were taking a gamble, hoping he would suddenly flip the maturity switch and behave well enough to earn a new deal. But honestly, that seemed unlikely. Instead, the Steelers got out ahead of the problem, avoided the drama, and grabbed real compensation. That's better than letting him walk next offseason and hoping for a decent compensatory pick. It's a tough decision, but the right one for the culture Mike Tomlin is trying to build. But here's the hard truth, Steelers fans. George Pickens might ball out in Dallas. He's finally playing with an elite quarterback in Dak Prescott. He's lining up opposite CeeDee Lamb, which means defenses won't be able to focus solely on him. And unlike his time in Pittsburgh, Pickens is going to see a consistent, accurate ball come his way. Let's not forget, in 2023, Pickens had 1,140 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns despite the chaos at quarterback. With Dak throwing dimes and Lamb taking pressure off, Pickens could have the best season of his career in 2025. Will it sting watching him light it up on another team? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean the Steelers made the wrong move. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think the Steelers should keep waiting for Aaron Rodgers, or should they roll with Mason Rudolph and Will Howard and build for the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them all. And if you made it this far, it means you love this team like I do. So don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button for more exclusive Steelers updates every single week. Thanks for watching, and as always, here we go, Steelers.